So English is a tricky language. The letters and the sounds don't go together. So no one can read R-E-D and H-E-A-D and S-A-I-D and guess from the spelling that those words sound the same. So the connection between letters and sounds in English is so loose, native speakers like me, people whose first language is English, very often have a difficult time learning how to read. And ESL, people who are learning English, can often read very well and can't speak.
Let's step through a series of words and see what happens to the sounds as we change some of the letters. Through. Step through. That's a good place to start. Through, a preposition, a handy little word, begins with the unvoiced TH. The R consonant, thir, and the oo vowel, through, through. Now what would happen if we drop the R? Thu, thu. No, that's not right. Through, drop the R, not thu, but actually though. So the TH, th, is now voiced, and the vowel sound has changed to the O diphthong, though. Okay, what would happen if we add a T? Vote. Vote. No, that's not right. That word is pronounced thought. Okay, so we've switched back to an unvoiced TH. Now we have the aw vowel and a final T. Thought. Thought. Okay, so what would happen if we drop the TH and add a B? Thought becomes bought, and that is how that word is pronounced. Excellent. Bought. Now what would happen if we drop the final T? Bought becomes baw. But it doesn't. It's not pronounced ba. It's pronounced bow. Okay, so the aw vowel changes to the ow diphthong. Bow, bow. Okay. What would happen now if we switched out the B for a C? Bow becomes cow. Yes, cow is a word. But wait, that's not how cow is spelled. This is how cow is spelled. So this, even though it was bow, isn't cow, it's cough. Cough. So we have the aw vowel and somehow an F consonant has crept in. Cough. Okay, cough. What would happen then if we drop the C, add an EN? Since it was cough, surely this must be enough. No, that's not what it is. It's enough. So the aw vowel changes to the vowel, but somehow that F sound stays in there. Enough. Enough. And I think that's about what I've had. I think I've had about enough.
English is a stress-based language, and this is important for non-native English speakers to know. It doesn't mean very much, especially if you come from a language that's a sound-based language. And most languages are sound-based, where each and every sound is important. And if you miss a sound or you say something wrong, then the meaning is lost. And English isn't like this. We don't care about sounds at all. So if somebody said at work, you know, we're having a meeting on Wednesday, everyone would show up the day after Tuesday. Or if they said, when's your birthday? You would just tell them the day that they were born. We have tremendous flexibility with accents. Sounds just aren't that important in English. What's important in English is giving specific qualities to specific syllables.
Content. Okay, content. This is the thing inside something. What is the content of this book? What does it contain? However, I feel very content. Content. Here the stress is on the second syllable. Okay. At Christmas, I hope to receive at least one present. Present, first syllable. When you win a prize, somebody will present it to you. So, a present, to present.
If you're trying to learn English as a second language, stop suffering about your accent. Oh, I'm sorry for my accent. Don't worry about your accent anymore. Don't worry about grammar anymore. You have one and only one responsibility, and it's to get the stress right in important words, and that will carry the day, and people will understand you.
We'll bring you guys into the kitchen in the White House.
When Michelle Obama or I speak this sentence, we stress the main verb bring, the nouns guys and kitchen, and the compound noun White House. Understanding spoken English has a lot of differences from understanding written English.
What town are we in right now? What town is this? It's Oakville, exactly. Oakville. I don't know what that is. It's Punjabi or it's Korean, but it is in English. And Oakville, that would be French. So it's Oakville. In this country, what country is this? It's Canada, exactly. Fantastic. And that's the way stress works. I'm a native speaker of English, and I'm going to tell you something that I thought, and I'm embarrassed to say, it's my first language. The world's business and science, technology, commerce is all done in English. Learning English is not my problem. It's their problem. This is what I really thought. I'm embarrassed to say this now, but that's what I really thought. Let me show you a picture of English in the world today. So this is a circle that represents all speakers of English. And the little blue part in the corner, that's the total of native English speakers. So that's Australians and Americans and Canadians. All together we form 350 million people. And as you can see, that's the vast minority of people speaking English in the world today. 1.5 billion people speak English as a second or third or fourth language. This means most conversations happen in the world today between two non-native speakers, and they understand each other perfectly. So yes, China buys her coffee from Colombia in English, and yes, Finland buys marble or water from Italy, and they use English, but it's not the English that I'm speaking. The pressure of 1.5 billion people learning this language was they changed it. They changed it. They changed it so much they can understand each other and they can't understand me. So now I see how it's my problem that more than 80% of the people who speak English in the world today can't understand me. They can't understand me for two reasons, and the first one is linking. So linking is the phenomenon of speaking the easiest way it is to speak. So most languages, the way human beings create speech, the easiest way is alternating consonant and vowel sounds. Consonant, vowel, consonant. So, Germany, Canada, Mexico, China, that's how people talk. And many, many languages are written exactly that way. So they start with consonants, alternating consonant vowels. Of course, not English. English, as we already learned, is spelled any which way. Independently of how it's spelled, people pronounce it beginning with consonants. So I'm going to need somebody brave here. So this is a normal thing that somebody would say. And some native English speaker, you're coming down the hall, it's breakfast time, you can smell it cooking, you pop in some toast and you say, honey, and who's going to be the brave one? Who's going to say this out loud? Just like you would say it. Go ahead, say it. What does it say? Sure. Say it again. Can I have a bit of egg? Exactly. It isn't slang. It isn't sloppy. Can I have a bit of egg is what we say. Can I have a bit of egg? Yeah. And this is why 1.5 billion people can't understand us, because they can't reconcile the words that they've learned and the words that they've studied with the words that they hear. And God bless them, they look for vague in the dictionary.
Linking is when we pronounce two words together so they sound like one word. For example, if you say how about, as in, how about we go to the cinema? Native speakers pronounce how about as one word, not two words. It becomes how about. Linking is very common in English. In fact, we don't just pronounce two words as one word. Sometimes we pronounce 3 words, 4 words, or even more words together, like one word.
The other reason that people can't understand what native speakers say is collocations. So collocations is another name for expressions, really, small groups of words that come together for no reason that create an image. So an expression like fall in love, creates an image of romance or something. But this small group of words is fixed, so there's no fall to love or fall between love or fall near love. That isn't English, and it doesn't mean anything at all. So these expressions are carved in, that's right, not soap, they're carved in stone. They're not carved in soap, they're not carved in sand. And thousands of these expressions is how native speakers really communicate with each other, not grammar. So people study grammar for, well, they can study it their whole life. And they can not sound like native speakers because native speakers' expressions run English, not grammar. So here's an example. Honestly, if a student of mine wrote this paragraph, I would be ecstatic. So last night we ate chicken at home. I cooked chicken. After dinner, my husband washed the dishes. The grammar's perfect. There's nothing wrong there. But no native speaker would talk like that because we don't eat meals, we have them. And we don't cook food, we make it. And we don't wash dishes, we do them. Do collocates with dishes for no reason. And this is how native speakers speak. I'm going to put a nail, the final nail in the grammar coffin right here. So there's 208 actually, 208 grammar rules. So the global English that the 1.5 billion people are speaking, they use 10 grammar rules. We use 208. And here's one that we use. Adjectives describe nouns. Everybody knows that. What's an adjective? Adjectives describe nouns. Actually, that's not really true. And here's a list of very good adjectives right here. Another tricky thing about English is we have so many words that mean pretty much the same thing. So there's a bunch of adjectives, they mean pretty much the same thing, but one and only one, collocates, goes together with Christmas. There's no such thing as gleeful Christmas. There's no such thing as glad Christmas. That is in English. And there's no Merry New Year, and there's no Merry Birthday. That is in English. So there's about, I don't know, half a dozen things maybe that go together naturally with merry. So you can have merry men and eat, drink, and be merry, and merry go round, the merry widow. That's it. So merry's an adjective. Wall's a noun. There's no merry wall. Grammatically, it's correct. There's no merry floor. So the pink guys, 1.5 billion people can't understand us because we use so many expressions and they don't use any at all. So grammar is linear, English is abstract, it's an idiomatic language. Collocations is the secret to native speaking, not grammar at all.
We need to look over this more closely.
Native speakers lose. We use so many expressions we can't even understand each other. My son's 18 years old. He eats all the time. So when we get to the end of my meal and there's a potato or something there, he looks over at my plate and he goes, "You finished with that?" What is he saying? "Can I have your potato?" That's what he said. And I say, "Sure, eat my potato." So he's eating my potato, and then he looks up and he goes, "Mom, what are you doing tonight?" What does he want? He doesn't care what I'm doing tonight. He wants the car. It's that abstract. There's no connection in words between what we're saying and what we mean. These guys can't get that. Nobody can make that leap. So we're not invited to international business meetings. We're excluded. because the person they can't understand at the meeting is us, and the meetings go much better when we're not there. So he's 18 years old, he's on the phone talking to his friends, and you know, it's like, gnarly dude, awesome, you scored a ThinkPad, that's sick. He goes, sick. I know that this is a good thing. I don't know what my doctor's saying, I don't know what my mechanic's saying, I don't know what my son's saying, my husband's an engineer, I don't know what he's saying either. So English is so exclusive because of our overuse of expressions, we don't know what each other's saying, and 80+% of the world doesn't know what we're saying either.
In 7th grade, I started Latin. So Latin, of course, is a dead language, and in learning Latin, you really learn how to break down language, to see language as a system with rules and as a bit of a puzzle. So in my Latin class, I read about something that Cicero described called method of loci, or technically locorum, but it's a technique in which you take mnemonics. So let's say you want to learn 10 vocab words on a list. You take each of those words, and instead of memorizing them in blocks, you integrate them into your spatial memory. So here's what I mean. This spot right here is Union Square. It's a place I go every day. If I close my eyes, I can imagine it very, very vividly. So I imagine myself walking down Union Square, and at each spot in my mind that has resonance, I associate it with a vocab word. I'll show you right now. I'm walking down Park Avenue, and in Japanese, to walk is iku. I go a little bit further, turn right, sit on the steps where I can suwaru. Directly north of there is a statue of George Washington, which I used to think was a fountain, so that's nomu, to drink. Right next to that is a tree that you can kiru, cut. If you want to go north to a Barnes & Noble, you can yomu, to read. Or if I'm hungry and I want to go to my favorite falafel place, I can go 1 block west of there, so I can taberu, to eat. Did I miss one? All right, so 8 out of 10. Not bad. So I found that most of the time, by experimenting with methods like these, it made language learning a much more interactive experience. It made it something that I could remember much better, and I had a lot of fun with. Here's another one. So a lot of people often ask me, if you're studying so many languages at the same time, how do you not confuse them? Or how do you learn so many vocab words? In Spanish, I learn the word for table, and then the word for book goes out the other ear. What I do is embrace those. So for example, take these 3 words in Indonesian. These were actually among the first 50 words that I learned. Kepala, kabar, kantor. Lexically, they're unrelated to each other. Kepala is a head, kabar is news, kantor is an office. But they all sound similar, K-A, right? So what I would do is I would memorize vocab in batches of sounds that were similar. So if I hear the word kepala in Indonesian, I automatically think of the words kabar and kantor. Same in Arabic, iqtisad, istiqlal, suqut. Those 3 words are unrelated. One is economy, one is independence, one is downfall. But if I hear one, it triggers it triggers the rest. Same thing in Hebrew, chozel, zochel, zolech, even though those are return, remember, and to shine. Or in Farsi, in which they are related. So for me, if I hear the word pedar, which means father, I automatically think of the words modar, barodar, dochtar, mother, brother, daughter. So again, this is one method. And I'm not saying this will make you fluent in a language, but it has been one of my ways of overcoming those obstacles. You may wonder, again, what's the point of doing this? And I try to explain to people a lot what my various motivations are, but I often feel that this quote from Nelson Mandela is the best expression of that. If you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. If you talk to him in his language, that goes to his heart. So as I've begun to see, there's an enormous connection between language and culture, language and thought. You can translate words easily, but you can't quite translate meaning.